I love the noise, I love the lights, I love the heartbeat of the city at night. Down on the main drag, all along the avenue. I love the beat, I love the boom, I love the feel of a crowded room. Down on the main drag, all along the avenue. But sometimes I need to breathe, I need to move, I need acres of elbow room. Somewhere where my mind can unravel, out where the dotted lines turn to gravel.
They say this town's built on coal and that the wind is just a weather pattern. But if you actually stand here and listen, really look, you'll see the wind. That's the pulse. That's what keeps people from getting too comfortable into complacency. That's what makes this town grow, is that ever-changing drive to do better. So the only thing they don't tell you is that this town may be built on coal, but it's maintained with coffee. So I'm going to get a cup of coffee and we're going to get into exploring downtown Lethbridge.
When life gets heavy and all too much, when I feel like I'm losing touch, I just close my eyes and drift away.
Even though I wasn't born in Lethbridge, I grew up here. And growing up here, I focused a lot of my attention on the arts. It was kind of an escape for me, as I was kind of one of those kids that got picked to be, you know, the one that got bullied all the time. So I found an escape through drawing, and that eventually evolved into photography and cinematography as I got older. And I found one of my main passions was definitely street photography, which, of course, going downtown, I really kind of discovered, you know, more or less rediscovered what it was like. Like, it's gotten a lot better in the last couple of years. I know the crime index is like 20% reduction or something like that, so it's like a huge jump. And it just feels like it did when I was a kid again. Like, you go down there and you see all the business owners working and thriving, and just, you know, there's such nice people and so like welcoming, and it just feels so good. So, you know, a big motivation to do this documentary was that exact thing. It was all these people that just made everything better to be downtown. Like, I love going down there. I love getting coffee at the shops. I like getting, you know, I walk in the street and, you know, people will talk to me, and it's just great.
I'd say Lethbridge started feeling like home once I began building real connections here. I started making friends, going to events, and helping the community. So it definitely feels like it's a place where I belong now.
I have lived in Lethbridge for decades, since the early 80s, and I'm proud to call this community home. It has served me and my family super well. The downtown is just that extra gem. I used to love coming downtown to visit the small shops, the bars and restaurants. And when I saw the posting for the executive director position, I was really motivated to follow through, because I just knew that I would have the best time in this job, connecting with businesses, connecting with community, bringing the vibrancy and engagement back to the downtown has just been an absolute honor and pleasure.
I'm going to read you a quote from 1891 from our first mayor. His name was Charles McGrath, and I'm going to read it from my phone. The quote is, "Who has not unbounded faith in her future?" That's a hell of a thing to say about a mining town just trying to make it through winter. It just goes to show that when you have resilience, prosperity always follows.
We love the historic element of the downtown, and as you can see by many historic society plaques that have been placed up around downtown, we've also named lots of our alleyways after prominent folks from historical downtown. I think it's actually not such a difficult task as to preserve the historic nature of the downtown, all the while providing up-to-date services in potentially modernized interiors of those buildings. The Oliver Building is a beautiful case in point here. It was a historic building, it fell into disrepair, then a local business owner bought it from the city and completely revamped it. Now it's home to perhaps a dozen small businesses, many of whom are run by women.
You know, even though I'm shooting this documentary on an 11-year-old camera and a 360 camera, like that's just such a janky combination, to put it simply. It's still just been so much fun, and I couldn't put it off. I had, you know, the gear is important, but you don't have to have the fanciest thing to document something raw and authentic. So it really matters to me that this documentary showcases downtown Lethbridge in its first episode in the light that it truly is in. And then the second episode being about the intersection between like nature and architecture, and then we're going into a third and fourth episode after that that's going to cover culture and arts. So it's going to be an exciting documentary for sure. I'm really glad that I've decided to do it now and take everybody along with me.
The Lethbridge community is very welcoming, diverse, and calm. People here are kind and open. So overall, it's a place that's very easy to settle and feel comfortable in.
I grew up on a farm just south of Lethbridge, and Lethbridge was always the big city, right? We always came there to do the major grocery shopping, to get things for the farm, to go to movies, and it just was always the big city to me, although it's really not big compared to a lot of other cities. And moving here when I was 16, I got into the school system, which was wonderful, and I really got a great network of friends in that very first year. Instead of feeling disassociated, like I didn't belong, I was actually welcome.
I didn't stay in Lethbridge because it was easy. I stayed because it's honest. I've never been somewhere in my entire life where people have such a dedication to an unfiltered truth and desire to know what's really going on in their lives. And I've been all over this country of Canada, Victoria, Vancouver Island. I've driven all the way to Toronto, sorry. And I've never found somewhere that felt more like home. This place has a stigma in some ways, but it's not up to date.
Well, I was always very positive about the downtown. I'm even more so now. It's such a privilege to work alongside small to medium businesses and to acknowledge the incredible passion and hard work that goes into running one of these small businesses, especially in the downtown. Patrons are changing my view of downtown because more and more people are coming downtown. More people are excited about the level of cleanliness, the increasing levels of safety in our downtown. I think we're really breaking through that perception that downtown is a negative and dangerous place to be, because it is anything but. It's full of celebration, happy people who are loving the interesting shops and bars and restaurants and personal services that there are in abundance in our downtown.
As a photographer, I find lately as my skill evolves, I'm shooting less and less pretty things and more focused on a more unvarnished truth about the character in people, places, that sort of thing. That's what this is all about for me, has been finding the truth. As I stated earlier, there always seems to be this stigma against a lot of things. And so I've spent the last month downtown here, and it's not what people think. There are people here working hard to maintain their livelihood, to build something greater than what anybody can really fathom. And I'm out here just trying to shed some light on that and show people that this isn't some old, dilapidated Lethbridge. This is character. These people and these places and these businesses all have a story, and it deserves to be told.
Well, I'm naturally an extrovert, so the passion is there, and I love to proclaim loud and proud all that is good about the downtown and why people should come on down and check it out for themselves. I'm just in love with the vibrancy and the engagement that we're seeing in our downtown. While I'm an extrovert, I'm also one that can pay attention to detail. And so whenever we have issues or concerns from membership, from the businesses that are members within the downtown, I'm able to address those and come to some kind of conclusion that makes all parties as happy as they can be in the situation.
When I first moved to Lethbridge, I lived in an apartment downtown, and I loved it there. I feel like downtown Lethbridge has a lot of potential, and I really hope more people give it a chance.
You know, Lethbridge has been such an integral part of who I am and who I've become. I was raised here. I've been here ever since, I think I've been here for 36 years now out of the 40 years I've been around. And, you know, this is where I had my kids. This is where I met my wife. You know, this is home. Downtown is my stomping ground, basically. It's where I always had the most fun. And I remember, you know, the old times with Lethbridge Center Mall, and I remember Cadillacs, but then going into the now, having places like some of the newer coffee shops that are in town, like Cafe Noir, and they're just incredible, and I'm so glad to see them thriving. And even though downtown has changed, it's just getting better, and you know, I just love it.
Well, some people say that your hometown is a place where you were born or where you spent most of your childhood in. But it's hard for me not to think of Lethbridge as my hometown, because it is my home in every way that matters to me.
Walking downtown right now, I am filled with memories of my childhood. One of them right now coming up on is the old Paramount Theater. When I was a kid, it was still a theater. It's now been converted for professional use, which is still awesome because they're using the original building. As you can see, it's even got the original sign still up. And I remember as a kid, I would go to London Drugs, which used to be just up the road, and I would return people's shopping carts to get the quarters out of them. And once I had enough money, back then it was $10 or $15 for a ticket, for a large popcorn and a large drink. And I used to go and get, I used to go to the movies with quarters. I think some of the staff there saw me coming because they'd be like, oh, here's that quarters kid. He's going to pay $10 for a movie in quarters. Well, what else do you do when you're, I think I was 13 years old doing that. It's just I was just hustling for some cash. And
they say downtown is just a collection of buildings, but in Lethbridge, it's a living, breathing machine. Right now, there are over 600 registered businesses packed into our downtown core. But look past the storefronts. Every owner I've talked to, from the cafe operators to the niche retailers, they all have a story, a struggle, and a real passion for being here. You combine that kind of diversity with the community-minded environment, and you've got a recipe for local history. And hey, I'm only able to document this much because of the coffee. Seriously, the shops here are unmatched. If you want to know the heart of this city, start on the streets.
I used to think that living in a small city would have more opportunities, but now that I've lived in Lethbridge for a few years, there's actually lots of opportunities here. The city is very open. There's lots of ways that you can get involved and help and make an impact.
without a doubt, the crowd on Tuesday morning is very different from the crowd on Saturday night. But the thing is, what we're looking for is to attract variety, to attract all community to the downtown to take care of whatever business they want at whatever time of day in the week they are with us. Obviously, the Tuesday morning crowd is going to be more business oriented or shopping destination oriented, whereas the Saturday evening crowd tends to be more about celebration, eating out. There would be fewer shops open on a Saturday evening unless there's an event that asks them to stay open later. So for me, it's really gratifying to see that downtown can be busy and engaged on Tuesday morning just the same way it can on a Saturday night.
Even though, I grew up here and I got to see it from different angles than what I was used to. I was used to seeing it from the angle of this person walking the street to the person, looking for more specific nuances, which really, I think, helped evolve my photography. And it made me really motivated to do this documentary because it really put into perspective a lot of what I see out there that's wrong. I see a lot of polished content that is so just faceless. It has no bearing on what actually goes on downtown, and it doesn't help people understand better.
Really what we need to do is concentrate as much on the quiet places as the loud places. The places who do their own marketing, who really shout out to the community to draw that community in. So we are very invested in ensuring that we do a lot of our dive into downtown videos in the smaller places, in the quieter places, in order to bring that exposure up.
Most of my answers are going to be kind of food based, but I like there's a few. There's the spring rolls at Mama La, the crispy potato rolls at Firestone, the cheeseburger pizza at Two Guys, the coffee at Cuppers. There's I have a few written down here. The chow mein and New Taste of India, you wouldn't think would be amazing, and it's, oh my god, I can't get enough of it. Like chicken strips at Round Table. You got the battered cheese curds at Legends. They also have really good pizza. Owl has great burgers. Owl has great comedy as well. I think the Owl's a great hub for kind of everything, including burgers. They draw me in with the burgers. Yeah, there's so many local businesses. I don't know if I mentioned Round Table. They got great chicken strips. I might have mentioned them twice because I'm thinking about chicken strips lately. There's these Baja shrimp tacos at Blanco that are they're a new flavor that I've discovered in the last 5 years of my life, and it's a good one.
I think one of the things that concerns the BRZ and some of the members is the pace of increased residential spaces in the downtown. It's important that people both live, work, shop, and play downtown. So for us, it's definitely increasing that residential mix.
People will say that downtown is no good, but here's the thing. This is the Casa Art Center. This is a museum, basically. And it's full of everything. And they do live performances here in the summertime. It's the Upside Downtown shows, and they're free, and it's wonderful. This place used to be an old grocery store. Always had problems, and then they tore it down and they put this up, and honestly, I think it's a blessing. Some people will disagree with me, but sorry, I think you're wrong. I think that building and all these people down here is what makes Lethbridge better.
A tradition called Oktoberfest that's been running a couple of years, and I look forward to that every year, getting together with some friends. And actually with the radio station I work for, we started a thing. We did our first one. It's called Brown Bag Lunch Day, and in our first year we raised a little over 65 grand for kids getting lunch at school, which is just crazy for the first year, and we're planning on doing it year after year, so we were really proud of that. I think just put a lot of good faith and goodwill into the community, and they've done it back towards me, and that's been super nice. And like for a personal goal, like I have to shout out the local wrestling company, Pure Power Wrestling, because when I was a little kid, like from 4 to about 17, the only thing I wanted to do was be a pro wrestler. And eventually I was like, oh, that looks like it hurt.
Lethbridge has spent a great deal of time, effort, and hard work making this place beautiful. And it is an artist's paradise, in my opinion. We just walked past Casa, which is for the arts. We're about to walk up on the Southern Alberta Art Gallery. And everywhere down here, there's peppered artistic installations and everything.
Forget the polished narrative. Downtown isn't perfect. And let's be honest, it probably never will be. But it's here, it's acceptable, and it's inviting you to be part of the friction. If you're waiting for an apology or an invitation to something pristine, you're looking in the wrong place. If you're looking for a community that's worth the effort of showing up, you're exactly where you need to be.
You know, after this documentary is finished, I'm actually really excited to revisit it like 5 years from now and just see how downtown has changed, how it's grown, how, you know, the businesses have thrived. I'm hoping to see a lot of the same businesses and more down there just thriving because these people really earned it.
It's about who brings it together, what conversation it opens up, and how it helps people feel more connected to the place they live and call home.
I go somewhere to breathe, somewhere to move, somewhere with acres of elbow room, somewhere where my mind can unravel, out where the dotted line